So I was going to do the fuel system on the FD today. I drove it last night, and the whole intercooler being cracked and has a hole in it is kind of, I'm going to pull the intercooler off today and weld the holes up so I could hear that wastegate open. I mean, it's just disappointing. It makes boost, it makes turbo sounds. It just doesn't get like rowdy because it's not actually, it's making a little bit of boost, but it's not actually like ripping. So I'm gonna pull this intercooler, weld it up, probably weld like a little like extra like rub plate on there just so it could, if it's gonna hit for now, it'll rub on that. And then I'll work on the fuel system maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll work on the G tomorrow, we'll see. And then get this thing running and driving and testing out tonight and see how it runs with the intercooler being welded up, and then go from there. I pulled the intercooler. You can see that it's like been rubbing on the radiator, and I don't know. It looks like some of the like, look at the fins, or not the fins. Well, look at the fins, and then look at the tubes, and like right here, I'm not exactly sure how close it is to through because those things are very thin. So you could see that it was leaking oil from the intercooler and just blowing it on everything. I don't like how this intercooler is made. I think it's a homemade intercooler or maybe a modified one, but the thing is it rubs on the radiator. It sits really low. It it's just poorly made. I don't like how these come out. I thought this was a Gretty core, but I don't see any Gretty markings on it, and it looks like somebody added these on here, so it could have been a Gretty core maybe at one time, but from like the welds and everything, I really doubt it. But they added like these brackets too, so who knows. So the radiator is pretty sketchy. I don't like that it has that wear in it. It's definitely rubbed. This intercooler has rubbed on it for quite a while, and you can see that the intercooler is actually bent from hitting the ground. So probably because I've only scraped it a few times, and I guess I did scrape it that one time on the highway pretty good, but it was already pretty gone. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I could get this with one hand, maybe I'll use my foot because I don't care. Okay, so this is the bottom of the intercooler, and now that I look at it, it is I can't weld it. Nice. So I was wondering where all my I think this is from the highway right here when I hit it on the highway, and this over here was is that a rock? So this was from like just scraping it right here and here. You could see through it. That's not good, and it looks like you could see through like up here almost. So yeah, so this thing definitely was not holding boost. This Beetle even thinks so too. Out here, Beetle. Don't have time for that. But yeah, you could definitely see that the highway took its toll on it. That construction. It might not have all been from that construction, but I definitely heard it hit, and it's definitely split. Before I hit it, I saw this crack, and there was like a hole right here, but it looks like a rock filled it in maybe when I scraped it on that construction. But it looks like it is cracked all the way across now, like literally all the way across. And I really doubt, that's probably the reason my wastegate doesn't open, why the car feels slow, why I'm not like building that much boost. So I need to really figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to order another core. I was hoping this was gonna be, I'm gonna take this off and just weld these two spots, but now since this whole crack right here, I'm pretty out of luck. Now I have to buy a whole new intercooler, which isn't a big deal, but I wanted to redo the intercooler, but now it's like a priority because this is definitely, it's too far gone to do anything with. Even if I welded this all the way across, it's still cracked along the core right here. Then I'd have to try to weld this, so it's pretty done. So now I have to figure something else out. Thanks to the Colorado Department of Transportation, I need a new intercooler and most likely a new radiator. So if you have a intercooler kit, a Greddy one, with the radiator and all the ducting new in the box, DM me on Instagram and let me know, because I definitely want to do something. I may end up like ordering an intercooler tomorrow or maybe tonight and just fabbing something up this week, because I don't want this thing sitting too long. But I wasn't really wanting to do that. I just wanted to weld some holes. And now look what I got. I got me a big old cracked intercooler. Look at that crack. Okay, so just had to get some heat shrink tube, because you always use the small one or the second smallest, but you never use the rest of them. So I have a bunch of packs of these. I'm going to Sears now to get 11 millimeter, because I didn't have one. When I undid the intercooler pipe, I just used a wrench, and it was kind of a pain. So I'm just going to go get a socket and then have an 11 from now on. But yeah, I should be able to finish that wiring. I'm probably going to put the power steering rack in the G today. My plans have kind of shifted from welding up the intercooler to now doing the steering rack in the G. So hopefully nothing else happens and I don't end up like, oh, well, I can't do a steering rack in the G. But yeah, hopefully everything goes smoothly and I can adjust the suspension, because it's all off, and then they'll be ready for like the next drift event. All right, like every other time that I went and got tools, I went in to get a socket, and I always get more than I need. So, well, not really more than I need, just the essentials. So I went and bought some crap, and the first thing, let's see what comes out. Oh, a 13 to replace one that disappeared. I never had a 1/2 inch 11, so that's tight. Then there's a one of these. I got a full set of those for the impact hammer that I have. Then I got an 11 3/8, and I think the other two are just the other sizes of those. Yeah, that's like a number 3, got a number 1, number 2, and number 3. Where's it at? So here's the number 1. So yeah, got some tools. It's always nice to get tools, because then you don't have it, and now I do. So that's gonna be cool. I just need to get like some like rails for the 3/8 stuff, so it's not on those like the trays that they came with, because they just take up a lot of space. All right, if you're new to the channel, haven't seen the G35, this is pretty much it. I got it for 400 bucks from a tow yard. Got some cheap coilovers, got a radiator, made a bash bar with random scrap pieces, and I've been having issues with, you can see how this tire in the back is like super cambered and towed out. Well, cambered and towed out. I got some kinetics like arms, so I got upper ones to adjust the front, and the upper ones seem like they're staying where they're supposed to be. So the rear, doesn't matter how tight I make the Heim joint nut, it always comes out like so. The G's in the shop, and I just cleaned the bay. It was all dusty because the guy blasts, and it just kind of gets it all like a residual dust on it. So I pressure washed it off, pressure washed the oil off of here, because it was kind of mad just because of the whole power steering rack issue. And I'm probably gonna relocate the power steering cooler, maybe a little bit better, get rid of those like super long lines on it. And what else? I don't know, these rotors right here. So I got another set of rotors, but they look way bigger than that. And to do alignment, those are 16s in the back, I think. Or are those 17s? If they're both 17s, I'll probably adjust the ride height. But I think the ride height's okay. These are off the VR4, and I thought they're 16s. It could be 17s. Where's the, well, they are 17s. Look at that. So, maybe I will. I think they're the same exact tires too. The same size, not the, I think they're the same like width and height. These are, I think, Potenzas, and those are Feds. So, and you can see I probably need to do some new rotors in the back because of that burn off I did. No line lock. and those were glowing red. All right, so the rack is actually different. I didn't notice it before because I didn't look at the G35 before, but this has like two little things right there, and the rotors are actually bigger too on the 06s. And on the G35, I think this is an 04, it has, see, it has like two, one up and one up above, and then one down below. So this is the issue. You can see right here, this is the 06. It only has two little things, and that's the 04, 05 for later on, and it only has thing like the one up and one below and one up above. So I think I could probably get it in that hole right there and the normal bracket and just use one bolt on one side. I mean, I think I'll be all right. And this one doesn't leak. And the other one, you could see how scored the actual shaft is from the accident. And I think I should be good after that. So the 06 rack, like I thought, does go in. It just, I don't know. I mean, I only have one bolt in it right there and the normal bracket over there. I think it'll be all right. I don't think there'll be any issues. Okay, so I got the new rack in and everything hooked up. The tie rod end on this side was bent, so hopefully this rack lasts. I don't know. I guess the car must have been hit on this side. It didn't look like it was wrecked or anything. The hood was fine and the fender looked fine, but who knows. But this tie rod was bent, so I just bought a new tie rod, so and end. So this is the new tie rod and end on this rack, and everything's bolted up. So I just really need to relocate this power steering cooler, which I'm probably just gonna move it from the zip tie right here to like right here or something, and then I won't have so many lines. Put some power steering fluid in it, and hopefully it you know, it works good. I'm gonna wait to put the wheels back on and everything, but I'll start it and bleed the power steering system, because I don't want to do that, because I'm gonna get those calipers tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll put the rotors and the other calipers on. Put power steering fluid in and bled it, and yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'm just kind of afraid that that rack might have some issues because it makes noise when you turn left, and it might be rubbing on something. I'll just have to have Trevor turn it when I'm under there. So yeah, you could kind of hear that noise. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll figure it out tomorrow when Trevor's here. Have him sit in the car when it's up and have it running, and then have him turn it so I can see what's really going on. But yeah, I really like this so far. It has ran pretty well, and everything. So this is most likely why Adam bought a Z. I'm 100% sure. He heard this and he's like. All right, so that's all I pretty much have for this video. I am glad that I got the steering rack in the G35. I still need to go run and get those calipers today, and I think that's what I'm going to do now. Then I'll upload this video, you'll see that, and then next video I should have the calipers and new rotors on the G35 and have it ready to get on alignment. So thanks for watching, comment below, subscribe if you're not subscribed, click that bell to get notifications, and see you next time.